What's up, YouTube? I know you missed seeing my hairy chest. Here it is for you. I'm just leaving yoga now. My body was feeling all busted up this morning. I actually wasn't feeling that busted up, just a little tight from MMA yesterday. And now I'm feeling loosey-goosey, so that's good. What do I got going on today? I'm going to plan out my week and do a little bit of reading, kind of get my habits done right now, and then got some family time later today for a Jewish holiday. So my mom needs a little bit of help doing a little bit of cooking and getting ready, so I'm gonna go help her out. But first I gotta make sure my business is handled, you know what I'm saying? So that's what's going on. What are some thoughts? I am rereading the book The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And that was a book that deeply, deeply impacted me, I think about 8 years ago when I read it. It was about 8 years ago, and it's a very profound spiritual book about being completely present to the moment, disconnecting from thought. It's not about never thinking again, it's about disidentifying with thoughts. See, part of the human condition is that we identify with our thoughts, right? We have these thoughts going through our head. Most of the time it's either memories from the past or we're thinking about the future. And we are just not fully immersed and present to the now. That's why it's called The Power of Now. And I read that book a few years ago, and it just changed me in a very profound, beautiful way. And I didn't, I was watching some videos on YouTube and saw this, somebody talk about how he's read that book like 100 times. And I was like, well, maybe it's time to pick it back up and go back through it. So that's what I'm doing. And it's been really nice to have that reminder of how to be present. See, one thing that I didn't necessarily realize is that when you're doom scrolling or watching TV or being stimulated externally, it's some kind of external stimulus, or even smoking weed, whatever it is, you feel like you're present, but it's this external thing that has brought you to the present moment, So I was spending a lot of time doom scrolling, and I'm like, ooh, I'm not having any thoughts right now. I must be present. But it's almost like maybe the illusion of presence. And so I've spent very little time scrolling. I mean, maybe a little bit, just real quick, just to kind of check what's going on there, but the compulsion to do so is just not really there anymore because it's not real presence. It's, again, an external form of presence, which I think probably takes you out of your body. So I'm really trying to focus on feeling what my body is feeling on a moment-to-moment basis. So like feeling the insides of my hands, almost feeling like, what does my skeleton feel right now? If you can kind of think about it like that. What sensations are in your toes on a moment-to-moment basis? We only really think about that if your foot hurts. Other than that, we're mostly, caught up in our head in thought. But what I've been working on and what I'm trying trying to put my attention to is staying completely in my body and present to the moment all the time. Or as often as possible. You're going to think about things. It's going to happen. It doesn't mean never think again. It just means to sort of observe the thought as this external thing rather than being the thought. And listening to it rather than identifying with it. And when you do that, it loses control over you. It's almost like thoughts have a personality of their own and a will to exist, and they do so by commanding your attention, which takes you out of the present moment. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, that's just what I've been doing lately. Kind of again pick that book back up. So that's been good. My body feels good. My mind feels good. I feel more motivated to. It's not just motivated. Being more present and not using distractions and fooling yourself into thinking that that's presence. It's so much easier to actually get the work done, So that's my hope for that, is that, again, maintaining presence and using that time more deliberately and intentionally and productively as a gift to myself in the future, right? Seeing it as a game. If I do this thing now, then I'm going to get something out of it in the future as a gift to myself, right? So every workout you do, every time you eat correctly, every time you work on making some money, you can think about that as, again, giving yourself a gift, giving future you a gift. Whereas on the other hand, any kind of addiction, if you're drinking, you're doing some kind of drug or eating poorly, sure, it feels good in the moment and it gives you this fake presence temporarily while you're eating. What that does is detract from your future. When I eat poorly, I feel, if I eat too much junk, it feels the same as a hangover. I've made some videos about that. I wake up the next day like sluggish and foggy, and I can't think, and I can't get out of bed. And the more I eat clean, focusing on whole foods, meat, vegetables, potatoes, shit like that, the more clear-headed I feel, the more, everything just feels right. So, yeah, that's just what I'm thinking about right now. Thank you for listening, and have a beautiful day, everybody.